language is like to possess a second and another soul. This means that it comes with all the responsibilities, right? Which we as side opposition has shown to the House that they are all not so worth it after all. So ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, side opposition comes to the House and you know what they do? They do not understand the motion as itself. And they come and try to twist it all right. So we try to debate with them that the motion does not say that you could do it, which gives you, well, the right to choice, right? But the motion says should. Even though they're trying to actually kill the should term on it, we look at the necessity, ladies and gentlemen, and we look at the word to all schools, ladies and gentlemen. Now, how exactly are we saying that this is a right to choice whenever we have all those three terms in one motion and still side opposition comes to the House and does not understand the motion? How exactly are we moving on into this debate, right? So ladies and gentlemen, that is the clarification that I wanted to give to the House. So, I also wanted to clarify on the fact that BASA does not have multilingualism in the school. We have bilingualism, right? So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it's either you choose English or Afrikaans, or you choose English or Zulu. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. And on that point, it is not working very well, ladies and gentlemen, because already I'm doing Afrikaans and I'm not getting what marks that I want, like with 50%. I'm not so happy because, ladies and gentlemen, I still need those requirements so that I can further my studies, right? So we move on to that. Now we're going to be looking at also what I thought it would have been wise for side opposition to do so that they can win this debate. It would have been wise if side opposition came to this House and said, you know what, we are actually supporting this motion because we would like these languages to actually be taught, or we know it, we would like them to be spoken, or no, the learners should just write them. So then we would understand exactly how this debate would move on, right? Whether we would look at people who will be able to speak it or people who will be able to write it, but because side opposition do not bring that, they still do not have to be in this debate. Okay, moving on to my issues that were discussed in this debate, right? So we have the issue of rights, which was a very contentious issue today, right? So we look at the right on two points, right? Which is the right to educate, the right to choice, the right to choice and the right to equality, right? So they come to the House and say, you know what, man, because we don't understand the motion, you have the choice. You have the choice as a school to say, yes, we want multilingualism, and yes, no, we don't want it, Why is it necessary then? Why are we implementing it to be necessary? Not yet. Why are we implementing it to be necessary while we're still giving people the right to choice? Well, let's look at it this way. We are saying that in our side, as side opposition, we say people have the right to choice because, ladies and gentlemen, we want the way it is to stay the way it is. We want current status to stay. So what does that mean? If I want to learn more than 3 languages or more than 4, not now. If I want to learn more than 3 languages or more than 4, I can go to that school like freedom. If I want to learn to stick to Afrikaans and English, I will go to BASA because you know what? I have the right to choice, right? And then we move on, not yet. Now we move on to right to equality, which they do not understand. They don't really understand because they said it's gonna be fair since people are gonna be able to learn the languages and speak the languages. But you know what? Let me tell you why it's not gonna be fair and why it's not equality at all. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to a school where they practice multilingualism, they actually give you a list of languages that you have to choose, right? So you have a limited choice. It's either choose Zulu, English, Afrikaans, Venda, and Tswana, perhaps. All of those 5, right? So is it fair if I speak another language, let's say for instance, French, ladies and gentlemen, is it fair? Is it equality? Is it equality enough when I have to choose Zulu and Tswana and then English and then it's fair? That is equality. Let me tell you about equality, not yet. Let me tell you about equality side opposition. Well, equality is when you can speak your language wherever, whenever, right? That is equality. When you can choose your language, that is equality. So what happens now when you have to go to school where they're limited and your language is not offered at all? Is that equality? No, it's not. So moving on to my second issue. Please sit down. Moving on to my second issue, which was the issue, the teachers' issues, right? So we heard that side opposition comes to the House and says, you know what, man, every random man, Zulu, Xhosa, what? Who can speak it fluently? Bring them in. Because you know what, they're going to teach the language. Not yet. Because you know what, they're going to teach the language. They don't understand that we need the qualifications. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, we are employing people from other countries because they have the qualifications to do what? To teach those life sciences and stuff like that. So we cannot employ anyone who's driving a taxi or who's walking around there because only they speak Zulu, so so we're gonna employ them and they have to teach Zulu. Because learners will have to know about the history, learners have to be proud, and they have to understand and respect those languages. How will they respect and understand them if the person can only speak the language? Are we even sure the person can write the language? Are we even sure that the person can even teach? Because you can speak the language, but does that mean that you can teach it? Right.
You know what? So we simply tell you that we concede and we feel for you for failing your subjects, but if that doesn't mean that the person from KwaZulu-Natal can't write their own language and teach that same language. They know because the way in KwaZulu-Natal, they start in that same.
Here's the point, right? This is what I would like to clarify to side proposition. So this is what happens when the school is multilingual, right? They have three subjects, which is the first additional language, second additional language, and home language, right? So since I am from KZN and I know Zulu like that random man who's been walking, I'm gonna choose my home language as Zulu, right? And then my second, I'm gonna say it's English. You know, English is a universal language. I have to be able to speak, you know? And then what's gonna be my third? What is gonna be my third? Since I'm from Zulu and I'm so proud of this Zulu. Moving on to my third issue, got disturbed because that was not necessary. Right, so we have 4 points under this issue, right? Which is the benefit of basically. So I want to try to show you how they're actually detriments and not really benefits as they thought they are, right? So they come to say is that you need to know 2 or more languages so that you can get a job, right? But ladies and gentlemen, you know that I'm going to apply for this and this and this job. So high school, why don't I go to a school that practices more than 2 languages or whatever, so that I know that I will know these languages? Why do I have to be forced, ladies and gentlemen, so that I can do all those languages? Because there's a possibility that, you know what, in the future, they want that language. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Like you said, don't I have the right to choice again? So moving on to my second point. They said that more people will be fighting. I do not understand that very much, because my senior speaker came to the house and said, what if the person's, her name is said Ketiboni? Is that going to be actually causing some unity? Am I going to be united with the person? And I'm going to be united with the person and understand, try to understand the person. You know what, it's fine. And you know what was so funny? They kept on giving an example of a Zulu man, of an English man speaking Zulu. What about the Zulu man speaking other languages? Oh, because we are black, we get entertained by people, white people speaking Zulu. Is that equality now? Is that equality? Okay, fine. So we move on to another point, which was that society will get happier, which I do not understand. I would like to move on to the issue, another issue, which was the fourth issue, which was information is not valid enough from side opposition. So side opposition comes to the house and say that they do not care. Ladies and gentlemen, we look at side opposition and we look at them as the government. They don't care about the future of the country. They don't care that the learners are struggling. You know, it would have been perfect if they said that we're implementing this. That means there are going to be changes. Therefore, we're going to be having more programs to teach these learners and so that they can be capable. But side opposition came to us and failed to let us know that, you know, it's going to be possible. And then another point that they brought is that, they are capable of, racism, right? So they came to the house and they wanted to understand what racism is, which was the third speaker, by the way. She says that it will move you